name is Jason J. Rock Houston. You guys are listening to an interview being done for Chaotic Riffs magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. It's my great pleasure to be speaking with guitarist John Adams from a band Love And War, which is based out of Houston, Texas. How are you doing tonight, John?
I'm doing fantastic, Jason. Thanks, man.
And so, first thing I'd like to ask you is, what year was the band formed, and how did you guys all come together and kind of come to form a band?
Well, basically, I formed the band in 2000. I was in a band in the 90s called Lestat, around here regionally, and basically the band broke up. We had a real small hiatus, and I just got the members back together again, and the singer, who's the singer for Love and War, was also my singer in Lestat. Actually, we've been playing together since 1982.
Oh, wow.
We've had a long-time friendship, and yeah, we've had a few bands through the years, and I called up Jeff and I said, hey, let's get together. Everybody had kind of gone their separate ways. So long story short, we got back together and just started playing and just said, hey, let's do this again. And I came up with the name, and we started writing new music.
Okay.
A couple different drummers later through the years. Donnie Bragg, who's on the record, joined the band, I believe, around 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, and then basically, and then Ray Solis came a little bit later, and that's the current lineup we have right now.
Yeah. And I was curious, as far as the band's name, Love and War, I kind of dig the name, Love and War. But I was curious, did you know that when I was searching for you guys' Facebook page, there's also another band, they're called Love and War, based out of Hawaii. Were you aware of that?
Somebody had mentioned something to me about that, and I never really looked it up, or I just heard rumors to it, and I've had this band for 15 years now, and I'm sure we probably have been around a lot longer than they have.
Yeah. No, I was just kind of curious if you were aware of that, but get back.
Yeah, there was another band I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago that had popped up. And actually here in Houston, and they tried to play a softball game, and it was just a local female who worked at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
So she decided she was going to call the band Love and War, and everybody that worked with her said, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she actually put out a Facebook ad about it, and everybody hounded her and said, what the hell are you doing? And that, of course, didn't last long. So I'm not surprised. It's kind of a popular
Yeah. I mean, it makes kind of for an interesting story. But you get back to your band. I was curious, how did you come up with the name?
You know what? Actually, the bass player I was playing with at the time, who was also with me in Lestat, we were just running names by, having a couple of beers, hanging out, and he had mentioned War and Peace. I said, no, that's a book, man.
Yeah.
That screw that. And I just thought, well, what about Love and War? Because basically, there's the phrase "all is fair in love and war."
Yeah.
So I just thought that was cool. Everybody dug it. So I said, "Yeah, okay."
It's a great name. Obviously, so many people have obviously thought of it. But getting back to you, I was curious. How old were you when you first started playing the guitar? And did you take lessons, or would you consider yourself to be a self-taught player?
I am definitely a self-taught player. I actually, when I was 15. I'm sorry, when I was 12 or 13, rather.
Wow.
My middle brother, at the time I had two older brothers, was playing Force It by UFO.
Wow.
And then, when I heard Michael Schenker play, I was like, oh my God, and
yeah.
I actually have a UFO tribute band here in town. Well, here we play regionally called Lights Out, and, I'm a Michael Schenker freak. So.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, listening to him play inspired me, and I've been playing guitar ever since, and...
Now,
that's,
I got to ask, have you heard any more recent UFO albums that feature Vinnie Moore, and what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I have every one of them, actually. The new one that came out, the title escapes me right now.
Yeah.
But the new one is fantastic. I mean, his guitar work is, comparable to the first record that he did with them. And, we've actually have had the honor to play with UFO probably 3 times in the last 3 years. Every time they've come to Houston, there's a local promoter here, John Escamilla with Jet Speed Entertainment.
Wow.
He's a good friend. I've known him many years. 18 years. And anyway, he always puts us in with UFO because he understands my love for the music and the band and Michael Schenker.
Wow, how cool is that? So, as far as your band, Love and War, you guys, you're saying you got one album out, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, and we are in the process right now. I would say our new record is 80-85% done as far as writing.
Yeah.
Our plan is early spring. We're going to go into the recording studio. We still have more ideas we're kicking around. Basically, have a whole record written, but we want to have a little bit more extra to choose from. And I would say, the way things are going now, it's going to be a killer record, very, comparable to Up the Ante, same kind of, in-your-face melodic metal.
And I understand it's been about 5 years or so since you guys have released anything. Is that correct?
It has, and basically the story behind that is after the record was we printed it out and everything. A lot of things were going on with us, and we never really pursued it. We didn't put it out there for distribution. We didn't try to look for any distributors, look for any kind of deals or anything. And I would say, over the last 2 or 3 years, we finally said, let's kick this thing into gear. And we're still considering maybe re-releasing it with a couple of bonus tracks on it for distribution. We've got some interest in Europe right now, so that may happen before the new record comes out. But it's all in the works right now.
How cool is that? Because that was actually going to be my next question. Because I would think it'd be, especially 5 years between albums, a great way to reintroduce people to the band. Because I mean, there are going to be people that obviously are in your fan base already, and then once this new album hits, people are going to be hearing about Love and War for the first time. It'd be cool if if they really dig the new album, hey, let's go out and get their first album. Then they kind of have both. I think that would be a very cool idea.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking as well. Because we just kind of sat on it, Jason. We just been playing regionally around here, and we've never really put it out there. I mean, nobody really knows who we are, and we finally said, we got to get this out there. We got to let's make this happen. And we hooked up with a really good friend of mine now, Benjamin, with Metal Online Promo and Online Metal Promo, and he's been helping us out, and he's got us some interest in Europe. Matter of fact, we are the Artist of the Week in Japan.
How cool is that?
On a webzine magazine there, and we've got some airplay that's going on right now in Italy as well, and the guy has contacted me asking me to send him some CDs. He wants to hand them out to his listeners for some Christmas.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah, man, I'll send you some stuff because he says they're getting really good feedback on the record. So.
How cool is that? Now let me ask you, these are, like you said, you've primarily played locally, so you're talking about Japan and Italy. These are places where you guys haven't even performed live yet. That's got to be a great feeling.
It's a fantastic feeling, and basically our mission is get everything in rotation out there,
and
then release Up the Ante again, and just get it out there, stir up some interest in the band, and then put up the new record. So that's pretty much what we're trying to accomplish right now, and God forbid it'll happen.
Yeah, and talk about the power of the internet. I mean, how has the internet been working for you guys? I mean, I imagine this is something, the internet 5 years ago was just kind of launching when you guys were last, really, doing your thing. So what has that been like?
Well, that's a good question because that's been helping us get the band promoted and get it out there, and it was a tool that we never really took advantage of, when we first recorded the record, Up the Ante. And of course now, we've been pursuing every avenue we can to promote the band and generate interest in us.
And, I think you made a great contact there with our mutual friend, the Lord of PR that you were talking about, because I want to give him a shout out. He's the one that helped me set up this interview tonight. But he's really got an eye for great bands like you guys. That you've got really something great going, and it's just a matter of getting the word out about the band. And interesting story about the internet. I was interviewing one of his other bands. Which is this band called Killin', based out of New York. They're kind of like a cult thrash band back from around 1985 or 86, and they really haven't been that active until just recently. And the lead guitar player was telling me when I interviewed him the story that we haven't really been active, but what got us going again was we found out that there was a fan that started a little internet site, a website about our band, and people just started going to it, and there's kind of a demand for the band, so we decided, okay, you know what, we're going to try to re-release some of our old music, maybe get some new stuff out there, and you know, again, just talking about the power of internet. This is something the fans did, that they wanted this little cult band to come back and perform, and it's just amazing that fans put up a website and they get the band back together.
I know that is fantastic. You know, again, you know, you just got to get your music out there to people, and you know, once the interest is there, you know, it all kind of just snowballs. You know, and you know, it's a great tool, and it's one you have to work with. And you know, back to Benjamin, Lord of PR. I mean, he's got great bands that he's represented. There's another band from Houston called Azrael's Bane that he represents. They're great friends of ours, and he's got a lot of really good bands. We're happy to be on board with him. He's helping us out a lot.
And so, how many shows do you guys regularly do? Like, are you doing a lot of shows right now, or are you concentrating on working on the new album right now?
Well, I would say we probably play out at least every 3 months. We just played a show with Loudness here in Houston.
Wow,
Japanese rockers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've been really busy this last year. I mean, oh man, we've had so many great bands to open up for, and we're actually going to do a headline show of us and another original local band called Tame Fury, and that's going to be this coming Friday. We don't do a lot of those because normally we've just been doing showcase original openers for you know, signed, you know, polished acts that have been around for a long time, and so we're excited about this Friday.
And I understand you guys, I think it was back in July, did a show with Sebastian Bach. What was that like?
Oh, that was fantastic. He, you know, was a super nice guy. You know, I was expecting something a little bit different because you always hear the
yeah.
You know, and everything. But he was a really stand-up nice guy. I mean, very approachable, and you know, I mean, it was a great show. We had a fantastic crowd. Yeah, we've done a lot. We've done Winger, and of course we've done UFO. We've done Michael Schenker.
Wow. And talk about Michael Schenker. Talk about Michael Schenker, being that's, you know, your kind of guitar hero, and you got a chance to open for him. Do you get a chance to meet him at all backstage or anything?
Well, he is kind of unapproachable, if you will.
Okay.
He got a little signing. You know, if you paid $200, you could have hung out with him, an autograph.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I approached him while during sound check, and he was very short and didn't really want to give me the time of day. But it didn't really bother me, you know, because I had heard he was like that.
Well, that's a shame. I guess one of those brilliant geniuses. You know, I've heard similar things about Richie Blackmore. He's another guitar hero of mine. But wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so. So as far as like the writing, how involved are you with the writing? You know, John, I mean, do these tunes usually start with a guitar riff, or does it just kind of depend on the song?
Majority of the time they start with a guitar riff, and you know, I probably write 50% of the lyrics, and then Jeff Vandenberg will write lyrics, and a lot of times I'll start off with a song. You know, I'll have a verse and a chorus idea, and I'll say, "Hey, Jeff, run with this." But yeah, I mean, on the rare occasion will it be a lyrical thing?
Yeah.
I try to fit music. But the majority of the time, I'll come up with a really cool guitar riff, and then I'll work some lyrics around it, depending on what's going on in, you know, in my world or the band's world or whatever happened, you know. And yeah, just come up with some lyrics. That's basically how it goes.
And being that you know, you're not the lead singer, but you still write some of the lyrics. Is that harder for you to do, coming up with lyrics, where, you know, being the guitar player? I'm sure it's much easier just coming up with music.
Well, no, not really, because I'm also a singer. I probably sing on every song that we have.
Cool.
I do all the background vocals.
Okay.
I mean, even in my Lights Out UFO tribute, I'll do a lot of lead vocals as well as play guitar. So I mean, I've been singing and playing guitar for so long. So singing is it comes natural for me.
Oh wow! And so, if I could just ask you a little bit about the UFO tribute, how long have you had that together?
Oh man, that's been together pretty much about the same as I think of 2001 or 2002. So I mean, we've been around 13, 14 years, man, and that's really that band is so great. I mean, we had the pleasure of Eddie Trunk checking us out, and you know, he came down to Houston, and we played his show that he had here in town, and he was just blown away. I mean, he even mentioned us on his live Monday night broadcast.
Wow, how cool is that? Now let me ask you one more question about the tribute band. Do you guys dress up like the actual UFO guys, or do you just get there and play the music?
No, I do not have a pair of striped trousers.
Okay, yeah.
No, actually, we're just plain clothes, you know, rocker style.
Well, yeah. But the last thing I kind of want to say on the tribute thing is, you know, I can send you an email when we get done with this. But I also interview guys that play in tribute bands, you know, and I can talk to you off air a little more about that. But I think that'd be a fun thing to do if you're at all interested in getting the word out about your tribute project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let's email each other later on about it, and yeah, man, that would be great. I could send you some pics and some live stuff that we have, YouTube link and stuff.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, well, now getting back to Love and War, like you say, you guys are like 80% done with the, you know, most of the writing. Now, once it comes time to go in the recording studio, do you guys typically get in the room together and record like as a live band, or do you kind of do it the modern way, everybody records their parts separately?
We actually do it old school. We all kind of play live, and we're like in separate areas, separate booths.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You can just really tell the difference. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, and you'd go buy, you know, the latest release from, you know, your favorite band, and back in the day when they did that way, you can really tell. I mean, it sounded like a live record, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the way to go. You know, it doesn't quite. It sounds so generic, you know.
Yeah.
And, that whole live in the studio thing is, you know, and we recorded Up the Ante here with a really great engineer and longtime friend of ours, Greg Gill, and he actually has moved to Missouri now.
Wow.
So because he did such a great job, I mean, there's people here that we've been thinking about recording, but we may go to Missouri and record the record because we're real happy with Greg and what he did with Up the Ante, and he's got such a great ear. And fantastic equipment and stuff, so that's a possibility that we're considering.
And how big of an influence does that have on how a record? I mean, I imagine, you know, it's one thing to, you know, being home in Texas, be in a recording studio there, and just go in and record. But I mean, it's got to be a different experience, you know, leaving your home base and going away for, you know, however long to record the stuff. That's got to be kind of fun.
Yeah, it really is, and it's exciting as well. And I think it just kind of helps with the energy. You know, you're someplace new, you're someplace fresh, and you know, you can kind of leave everything behind that you have at home, and you don't, you know. I think it's, you know, for all of us, we talked about it, considered it, and I think you know, we're excited about doing it.
Now, as far as playing guitar, I got to ask you, John, do you have like one standard you typically play, or like when you're playing live, do you kind of you know, switch guitars throughout the show?
I do. I have some songs I need a whammy bar for, and then or either that or I'm playing a Les Paul. I mean, I've got a guitar collection that'll, you know, it'll drive you crazy, man. I mean, I've got a room in my house that looks like Guitar Center. You know?
Wow.
I probably have 40 some guitars and another 15 acoustics and, you know, various other, you know, stringed instruments, and I definitely have an arsenal to choose from. And but, you know, normally I'll take like 3 guitars on stage, and really what I'm kind of feeling at the time. But normally I'll have like 2 Les Pauls, and then I'll either have one of my DBZ guitars, or I have a Jim Steve Vai, or
wow.
I have a really cool old Dean Warbird too that I play.
Oh wow! What a collection! Now, I know a lot of guitar players, like, to make extra income, sometimes they teach guitar. Have you ever done that?
I actually did that years ago for extra income.
Yeah.
But I don't now. Actually, I own my own business here now, and so I am just so swamped all the time. I've been approached with that before, but I just there's no way I have time. It's crazy.
So I guess it's great to be in that place in life where you can kind of, you know, you can continue doing, you know, your rock and roll thing, you know, your music thing on the side, and as well as having your own business. But does one ever get in the way of other?
No, I make sure that doesn't happen, because, you know, music for me is kind of, you know, it's that fountain of youth, if you will. You know, it's that thing I look forward to, and I don't let it get in my way, man. It's something I look forward to doing. When I get home from work, you know, I'm going to hit my guitar and, you know, leave everything that happened during the day behind me and just, you know, get into it.
Yeah, as far as this new album you're working on, I got to ask, you know, since we've gone 5 years, but since the last release, are all the songs are going to be on the new album, or are they newly written songs, you know, just in the last couple of months, or is it any older material that didn't make it onto the last album?
No, it'll be all new material. There's a couple of songs that were written a few years back, but I would say right now, 2/3 of it is all brand new material that's been written in the last 6 months.
Oh, cool, cool. And as far as the inspiration for your songwriting, I got to ask, like you said, typically it starts with music, but like when writing lyrics or something like that, do you typically, songs based on, you know, life experiences, like things you hear on the news and stuff? What typically motivates you as far as, you know, writing a song?
I'm kind of emotionally motivated about things that are going on, you know, whether it would be, you know, my lovely fiance or, you know, things going on around me, you know, with relationship with friends or, you know, you'd be surprised how many ideas I get in my sleep, you know. It's really weird, man. I'll wake up, dude, I got this riff in my head that I was humming. Matter of fact, I had a dream the other night that I was hanging out with Bob Blotzer and Vince Gill, because Blotzer used to live here in Houston. He's a friend, and Vince Neil. And man, check this out. And we were just hanging out, and I came up with this guitar riff that I was humming to those guys. Wow. And then I woke up, and I remembered the riff, and I ran to my recorder and recorded it. I mean, and it's pretty cool, you know. I mean, but that's just an example. That kind of stuff happens to me a lot. It's really bizarre. That's cool.
And how often, like, when you get an idea like that, do you have to run the recorder and, like, record it right away so you don't lose the idea?
Oh, I got to, man. Otherwise, as soon as I close my eyes, go back to sleep, it's toast, you know?
Wow.
It's gone.
Yeah, because one thing I say, you know, you can have a band with, you know, made up of, you know, 4 or 5 of the best looking guys, but to me it's really about the songs, and if you don't have songs that are well written, you know, memorable, got great hooks, the band's not going to go very far. So you know, I think you guys really got, like you said, you got something special here. It's more about getting the word out about the band right now at this point.
Yeah, it really is, and you know, thanks to Benjamin, you know, he's going to help us with that. And you know, it's going to happen, and you know, I'll keep in touch with you too, man. I'll let you know how things are going, and
yeah, well,
I've got your email address, and you know, I'll let you know how things are going. And look, if you need them, I can send you some CDs if you need to. And I don't know if you want to give any out or offer them or just whatever you want to do.
Well, again, you know, I'll email you when we get done with this, and we can talk about that. But you know, Benjamin did send me a couple, you know, stuff digitally, but that I checked out, which I thought was cool. But
oh, okay, cool.
But you know, getting back to the band. So I imagine the plan right now is you work on this new album and kind of reintroducing people to who the band is. And so I imagine at this point, like once the new album comes out, you know, hopefully you'll have a deal in place, and that maybe by that point, like you said, you know, even people in Japan and Italy are starting to talk about the band. So hopefully, you know, you guys will get a chance finally to tour outside of the U.S.
That's what we're hoping. And you know, if we generate enough interest, you know, whether it would be East Coast, West Coast, or overseas, Europe, wherever, we get the opportunity, and there's a promoter out there that says, hey, you know, I've got these shows, whether they be festivals, whatever, we'd love to have you. Yeah, we're going to jump on it, absolutely, because you know, that's the whole reason we're doing all this, is for the love of music, and if the opportunity arises, yeah, we will jump on it.
Well, you know, and when the new album does come out, hopefully it'll be maybe now 5-6 months down the line. I'd love to do this again, and we can talk all about the new album, you know, and some of the songs in great detail, because I want to really push the band as much as we can. But I promise I will send you that email as soon as I get off the phone with you. But thanks so much, John. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to let people know about, like a website or where they can find out more about the band?
Well, actually, we have a Facebook page. Look up Love and War, and also find us on Reverb Nation if you want to hear Up the Ante.
Okay.
The whole record is there. You can listen to it. And that's pretty much it. You know, go in there and fan us. you know, and we'll keep in touch with you, and we'll let you know how the progress is going on the new CD and what's going on with the band.
Oh, that's great. And the last thing I want to ask you before I let you go is, being that you guys are based out of Houston, Texas, what is the rock scene like there these days?
Well, the local scene is decent. I mean, I tell you, it's gotten a lot better. You know, there's a lot of really good bands here. There's some great guitar players, Rusty Cooley, you know, Marzi, Joe Gregori. There's so many great guitar players in this area.
Wow.
There's some really great bands, and you know, it's really up and coming. And you know, it's really kind of bizarre because, you know, we all grew up with you know, with 80s metal,
yeah.
You know, and everything. And it seems to me it's kind of making a turnaround. There's a lot of the bands are coming back. They're going back out on tour, and you know, I mean, we just had Crocus here.
Wow.
Which is unreal. They hadn't been here in 25 years, and we actually got the honor to open up the show for Crocus, and which was fantastic. I mean, you know, wow, whoever thought that would happen?
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that you did just a show or two with Loudness. I mean, that's, you know, a legendary metal band from Japan, and they got their start like almost 20, 30 years ago, and they're still out there doing it. So wow.
Yeah, no, and you know, you know, the local scene here, there's some great bands, and you know, and Austin has a great scene. Dallas, you know, it's not all that far from each other, so we have a decent area around here where we can play. Yeah,
and then I always like to ask people, you know, John, I've seen people describe your band, Love and War. They say it's like a really great melodic. You guys are a great melodic rock band. Do you think that's a fair description, or how would you describe being that you're the, you know, guy that writes the songs and you're a guitar player from the band?
I think it's a pretty fair assessment. I mean, you know, I'd like to, when I write music, I'd like to write something with a good hook, you know, and, and a killer riff. You know, the stuff that I kind of grew up on, you know, the kind of really melodic players, and you know, without really being too overbearing. And I mean, I think it pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, well, we're kind of winding down here for a year, John, but we're still doing interviews, like, obviously, because I'm talking to you tonight, but